stake.
Yep.
So if they go on the Kais here, it's probably going to be Kaiserel, I would think.
Wouldn't mind it.
And then I wonder if Hype is on the Lucian train that we saw. Obviously, Guma have that game in the last one. Because again, that Xin Zhao, Braum, Lucian trio was really strong. Add a Talia into the mix. And that is, you can't skirmish against that.
Looking pretty scary. Let's see what Life has to try and round out this composition. It will be the Nico.
Okay.
So they're going for ultimate lane power.
Yeah, I think the Nico, it still provides that engage role to an extent, but has that range element that pairs, that deals a bit better with the Braum. You don't have to run into the Braum necessarily. You can fire the route from a distance.
You can also use Shape Splitter as well to block Winter's Bite to stop that from being as much of an issue.
Yeah, and they end up going for the Ashe. So, I mean, still, this is a strong bot lane duo. You're not going to have as much pressure as you typically would because you allowed them to pick up that Nico instead of them having something melee. But both teams, decent amount of power across the board. I think I'm liking Bro Comp a little bit more, like the Talia value, the Xin Zhao value.
Yep.
The Ashe Braum. 5v5s, you've got such a strong front line, you've got great backline damage, and those skirmishes as well are going to be very difficult to deal with.
Yep. If I was looking at this and instead of DN Freaks it said Humble Life Esports, I'd say that this is unplayable for Bro. But I don't think that Dudu is necessarily...
Bro series. You guys should know by now.
Exactly. This is actually kind of, it's almost inconceivable that I do not see these locked in. Finally, they're starting to come through. Let's get into the game. Doiv is going to have to play this one out pretty creatively as we get later into the game. First, it's going to have to be some laning. Let's see how that one's going to go. Here towards the bottom side, you could imagine Berserker and Life going to be feeling okay. And Berserker in a good lane. That's it's going to be a very good story.
Pretty good job in the lane. I'll hold that thought.
Yeah, Dudu is going to try and taxi his way out on top of Croco. As When Becomes Lightning comes on in, they get the flash out from the Jace, and Dudu's going to go back home. That is mission successful here. First gank for Croco in the LCK for 2025, and it works out.
Yeah, it was a great time to gank, and it was the perfect time to flash from Dudu. I think enough to save him, but the wave is in a little bit of a rough spot. He will TP in just to try and shove that out.
Speaking of shoves, that one's going to land as Pungyan in trouble. Closer is running out of mana, yeah. As another Arise will come on through. Pungyan realizing that he doesn't need to beware of
levels.
Yeah.
Oh, this could be a huge gank.
Oh god, okay, Doiv gonna come on it. Yeah, huge gank, monster gank, mega gank.
I said it could be a huge gank.
But it's not.
But it's not.
It's not. You're right, and it just unfortunately wasn't.
He was a little bit closer. I think he held out a vision for so long, but he could have moved in quicker. And then, yes, closes the information, but he can't cancel the TP. Speaking of canceling...
Oh, God, okay. Polu's flashing, Doiv's jumping, and I think Doiv's going to have to flash as well. His door not quite as powerful as Hype goes in as well. Doiv is dead. Does get a lot of summoner spells. As Pungyan going to get flung back once again. Polu comes on over. Emperor's Divide going to be blocked as there's the flash forward from Closer, but unable to actually get too much out of it. And now Polu's the one that's in trouble. Pungyan, do you have a Q available? He doesn't, but Doiv does, and he's going to be able to grab. Was only able to grab 2 of them, so not going to be able to get the feat of strength or anything like that. Still getting the majority is great here for Bro.
Yeah, but I think DN Freak's happy that any way the Pantheon can really come in and contest this without Flash, even though he has a level advantage. He's level 6 to Croco's 5. It's that trio, so much power between them.
Yep. So not going to risk it. Hype going to get spotted by Berserker if they do want to get on over. Voidseeker is going to connect onto Hype. If there's a Pop Blossom, Flash comes through. That's a lot of value. Weave as well to bring Closer in though. And now Croco is looking to turn it. Life just gets eviscerated in an instant as Pungyan does make his way out and gets out before the concussive blows goes off. Never mind though, Closer gets over that wall and takes him out. And now Doiv and Berserker needing to leave. And Bro just
managed to get him onto the Talia.
Yep. One of the grubs was taken here by Croco, who just values getting as much.
Easily. We'll see if Doiv is able to move over, but no ult, no flash. I think it's just too risky. It's so hard, especially both the Pantheon and the Nico have no flash. Pushing into this team, very difficult because they're both champions that can survive a long time, but aren't tanked. In Australia, does Santa just wear like board shorts?
Oh yeah, all the time. And he drives a ute as well. It's fantastic as Croco gets engaged on, but he kind of likes that Pop Blossom as the answer, but I think Life is still dead. And Pungyan, he's going to have to do some funny business to get himself out. Does manage to do so. Voidseeker comes in, hits Polo. Or are we looking for something else? Life pretty close to having that Pop Blossom, but not quite with it in hand just yet. They don't even know the health bar. Now they do. as Berserker finds a Void Seeker. Closer not finding the angle just yet. As Life really wanted to flash on in, get that Pop Blossom happening. Arrow going to come on through. There is the snapback and the immediate flash away from Doiv. The DN Freaks understand that they're not able to do anything about this. Says, okay, Berserker goes in, just nabs himself a kill. Nicely done. Flash Emperor's Divide, and Croco now finds himself in amongst it. Let's see whether he can keep himself alive as Pungyon sidesteps the seismic shove and then takes a billion rocks to the face and dies. Croco going 1v1 against Berserker, and it does not work. But Life is on the floor once again. And for the opposite reasons, you know, and not necessarily ones you want to talk about. The DN Freaks are going to try and defend their bottom outer turret. Just don't know about it, as it will be taken down. The rest of Bro still defending.
So hard against this team.
Yep. Shape Splitter is at least going to buy them a little bit of information, as there's a flash. Nabs 2 as well, as Life is able to at least get something done, but it's another great flick back onto Berserker, and he just throws himself into the mix. I don't know about that one, as this team fight has Morgan in it. Pungyon being able to find the Braum is kind of cool, but who cares? Hype's able to shut him down, and this is the DN Freaks going to try and prove me wrong, though. Teleport comes in, it's an honest 5v5. Can the Bros get something done? Morgan's been softened up here.
Yeah, you got to remember as well the resist shredding that comes out, even if you are tanky.
Arrow going to connect onto Pungyon. There's the flick back as well, just delivered on a silver platter. But the answering kill is going to be there. Mid lane for support, though, doesn't feel great for the DN Freaks. And Arakan going to be left alone for the moment. And the DN Freaks not wanting to let it reset.
I think it's the right call from Bro here to back away. Like, we've had so many games, especially when we had lane swap meta, where picks like Sion would be, you know, down 50, 60, 80, 100 CS on the 80 carries. A Fed Sion is demonic.
Well, let's see whether this Fed Sion can just drive his way out, or whether he doesn't even have to.
He just walked by them, and the Unending Despair healed for 182.
Yeah, that's pretty silly. Oh, Shape Splitter, 6 points. Considered once again. Things are dark, but Pungyon's right here, so he is going to be able to give them an idea that they're going to be starting this one off.
It is
on down very quickly. Okay, teleport in. The Sion is going to be joining. That looks like the decision is, let's just do it. And let's see whether Nike was the right call, as they do manage to get the Arakan, so they get the buff, but can they find more? That is just one with the Pop Blossom, but it might be the best one that Life has found so far, as Dudu also able to take down Croco. Pungyon turns up to the fight so that he can just get recalled, and the rest of the team is also dead now as well. Well, not dead, but sort of dead. Yeah, being like, I'm ready to DPS, and then immediately getting arrowed to the face.
That is significant, though. The recalls, rather than the death that Croco had, means they are able to pick up the dragon and deny soul from Bro for a bit longer.
Yep.
And I do think that...
Oh. All right. Morgan going to get McHale's, but still taking a lot of damage here. Tangle Barb's not going to connect. And Void Seeker's still coming on down. It's starting to hurt a little bit more as the AP start to come in. Sometimes you throw an arrow into the wrong thing, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know.
Almost took an damage, but did not. Arrow going to connect here onto Pungyon, who will be able to get over the wall. Flash out from Berserker is now trapped in between the wall and the other wall. That was a bit awkward, as now Morgan is tanking. Is he under any threat? No, he's not. Croco is going to be down.
You're not going to have this dragon fight in 10 seconds. Oh, Doiv.
Yeah, there's the Pop Blossom, though. Finds 3 in the backline. Dudu on a flank angle, but Croco's pretty tanky. Morgan's immovable, and they go 1 for 1. But there's the crash. This Sion. Oh, no, it is despair, but it's despair for DNF, as Berserker going to get ripped to shreds. And yes, Morgan is unable to be killed.
They just cannot cut through him, you know? He walks forward, and in the meantime, the rest of Bro is slowly mounting ahead with the power of the Braum, the Talia, the Ashe, just shredding any target, and Morgan is just unstoppable. They now will pick up that
DN Freaks not to be deterred. They do not want this Baron to go without a fight. That is 1 point. I'm going to give that 1 point, as now Closer is diving on top of Dudu. He's out of the fight now. Morgan taking a damage once again, and Dudu is taking a lot more than that. He's going to have to flash as Closer. A lot of power here. Tangle Barbs will connect onto Croco, and Croco shrugs it off. He isn't too worried. It's Pungyon finally not getting hit by these skill shots, as Morgan, well, it's really recouped though. See what the Bros can actually do off the back of it, as the DN Freaks not starting off any fight just yet, as Dudu might be the target. There's the crash from Morgan. Pop Blossom though, used mainly defensively, but Croco is dead, and now the Baron not smiteable on their side, and TN Freaks will be able to lock it down. They cannot lock down the team fight. Berserker going to get arrowed as well, as they all just try to run after him. Look at Hype, he's going so fast. The Penta for Hype off the back end of the Baron attempt from DNF. And the Bros are going to...
This game, and they will be able to take that game 1 win.
Really nicely done. Morgan, an absolute monster on this Scion, I swear, always in the right place at the right time, as this Nexus, not long for the world, as Hype just trying to augment the kill bar, and in fact it's closer, the grabs are coming.
아무래도 세게 세게 줘도 될 것 같아 이거. 야, 쇼부다, 쇼부. 진영만 잡아.
탈려기 기다려. 나 여기서 뒤에 한번 가볼게 이거. 야, 나 제이스 한번 볼게.
앞에 들어갈게 이거.
여기.
반대.
제이스 잡았고. 야, 바로 들어오자.
봐봐. 야, 암라 봐봐. 내 방어 뿌려.
미드 끝내자.
아, 이거 마무리해봐. 이거 마무리하면 끝나.
하고 와봐.
패턴. 뭐. 끝나.
Take games.
And I also think that I'm glad that you highlighted it in the draft, because I was a little bit tunneling on the not needing to first pick Jace and then the first pick Azir, an understandable thing. But Talia Xin Zhao is so incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Not to mention, like you mentioned, pairing it with the Braum, which their Yorick in a side lane and try and put on pressure elsewhere.
Yeah, with how much dive threat, I think Zeri makes a lot of sense in the situation.
I like it.
It does give you a bit of team fighting power after the initial engages. You have that throughput in the rest of the fight, but also just the fact that you could dash over a wall.
Yeah.
If ever there's a situation where Zeri's next to terrain, it really makes you re-question whether you can actually make an engage happen onto that pick. So
I also think Paranoia and Zeri are such a good combo.
Zeri does give me paranoia sometimes.
Absolutely, but there's also the fact that as soon as you turn the lights off, you just create havoc, right? And that is where Zeri really thrives, being able to pick off targets one after the other as the coordination. It is Spooky Ghost Croco, and I absolutely love that, my favorite Nocturne skin. So I am on the side of the Bros. Let's get into it. All the time.
Every single week.
Yep.
And also, you did play it in the LCK Cup, you know, which... Although Bro didn't have the best performance in that tournament, they did take down Genji. Wins.
Oh, God. Pungyun not having a great time there. Does get an electrocute back, as Pungyun's almost dead.
That was very close.
Yeah.
Does have a Biscuit running now, so especially closer being out of mana, kill unlikely to come through. But he is window to potentially just reset. He is healing up, though, himself, so I think he's going to stay around a bit longer.
Whoa, he flashes, and he just kills him.
That was slick.
That was slick, but also, Pungyun, what are we doing, buddy?
Yeah, I think just thought he had enough health, thought he could stay around, ended up getting caught out. Speaking of caught out...
Yeah, Morgan could be in trouble here, because that's an overheat, that's a flash forward. Dudu may have silenced himself, but not the crowd here.
We have specific lane counters like Aurora or Galio, and they opted out of those.
Well, Croco is looking to make Doiv a little bit frightened, and I think Doiv is, as we can see here. Closer actually taking a bit of damage from Pungyun.
Yeah,
he's getting his eye in, but this is looking a little bit dire in the mid lane.
Oh, Dudu just picked up Boots of Swiftness, though.
Oh my goodness.
He's just going to run him down.
Huni would not be happy, but I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because he thinks Sork Shoes are the only things you're allowed to build on.
He does love his damage.
He does. Need to talk to Huni. It's been a while.
It has been. You know, I've missed his...
And things like that. He's very passionate. Let's have a look at this again. As Closer does, the flash hit him with a button and he's dead.
Didn't even have electrocute up there, I don't think. So just the damage in the kit. Disrespect coming out.
Checking this one out from Dudu's perspective. Yep. And got hit by 2 harpoons.
Yeah.
Ward goes down. And he flashes and he already knows that he's dead.
Dudu nearly has ultimate.
Yep. Doiv is going to be able to sweep this out as well. They know there is no information for Morgan. No flash, no hope, as there's the equalizer. Morgan now going to have to walk behind his turret, shattered and destroyed. Life even able to get out of there.
The knife by bringing up your support in jungle and making that dive work. Now, Polu is spotted, so... And ult does get picked up, so Pungyun should be safe here.
Yeah, Croco going to be able to grab the Raptors. So there is that. Doiv on these grubs. We'll actually get all 3 by...
Oh, no, it's not. It's definitely not a ward in that brush.
Well, Doiv is definitely a Wukong, is now just going to go in on top of Morgan. The Ghoulie wall is gorgeous, but what can they actually do about it? Because down goes the Yorick. Dudu is going to be answered though, and the teleport is coming in. It is so slow though, as Closer comes on forward, gets over to the other side of the wall. The charm is good from Pungyan, and he knows he has to get out, but it's a 2 for 2. And the top side for the DN Freaks was so strong. So he cannot lock down this grub, but in they go. That's a great Magna Storm from Life, as now Polo finds the quickness onto multiple people. Pungyan making his way over, flash out of the way of the charm is good, as Croco trying to get out, and Life says, nope, you stay right here, no flash available. And that is also going to be some grubs going over to the DN Freaks, and they are getting a real advantage off the back of this one.
Yeah, Croco had his flash, he's trying to get out of the pit, but Life shuts that down. And even despite the fact you're lacking flash, fighting again immediately.
Yeah, another Cyclone to come through here from Doiv, and Morgan is dead yet again.
Why is he there?
I don't know. We just came out of a replay.
Guys, there's a reason you picked Yorick.
He teleported there.
There's a,
it's the side lane, much like what Dudu is doing. As maybe he's in trouble. Life is going to come on over. Let's see whether this 2v2 is going to work out, as he does get the scrap shield, the Magna Storm as well. The Equalizer is cooking them this whole time. As Croco turns around, but it's not enough. The scrap shield, and Dudu just cooks him.
Bit of a play. It's one of the ones where you pop the ultimate and immediately like, well, in for a penny, in for a pound, and yeah, he's calling for the backup. The Equalizer gets so much value here as well. They're right on top of such a long time. Ult for the Rel keeps them on it.
Them in there, yeah.
I can't even imagine how much damage it's there. And he gets a full rotation of cooldown. So Scrap Shield obviously is the really relevant one to keep him alive.
In your bones, as the DN Freaks will be able to take down this first turret. Closer tries to get a little bit of damage onto this one, but it's not quite going to work out. So first turret blood, as well as the first 3 kills, and the DN Freaks will get themselves some feats of strength.
That small pocket of light.
Well, Croco's going to get jump scared. The Equalizer comes down. He decides to not walk down it, which I think makes some sense. Then he makes it dark and dies.
So much gold in the inventory.
Yes. I think he definitely does.
I feel
he
like
still also has like more items in his inventory currently than most other people on the map.
But I feel like it's not quite going to be this extreme. It definitely isn't. But I'd just be so funny if he just recalled his border Rabadons.
Yeah, he's just pretty blessed here today.
Have a good day.
And a Cloud Souls. And no Chemtech Souls? Damn, you've been locked in today, Ox. I'm so proud of you.
I have been, thank you. I'm glad you noticed.
I did.
But yeah, I mean, a Cloud Soul with this composition. But as we saw before, some picks are easier than others.
Well, Morgan has put Dudu in the Ghoulie wall. There is actually a lot of value here because the Equalizer does basically nothing. But the Paranoia now going to come in. Morgan actually staying alive for so long, and my God, they're able to get the top side already. The DN Freaks, I don't know how they lost that, but the Bros had the answer.
The gold lead is just the difference Rumble has, honestly. And actually, Closer has the same lead as Rumble does. And now Dudu has the Shadow Flame.
Well, this turret going down, and Croco not going to get hit by the charm as Morgan position, as we can see here, and I'm starting to see that perhaps... Okay, never mind. Closer is in a whole lot of trouble. Equalizer once again in an odd position, and the ulti is still there from Closer. He creates enough space.
On the Ahri, that is a massive spike. No one else is even level.
Phenomenal charms going to connect here as Croco is just dead. And, you know, you've been stacking up the House of Cards. Leon's still going in for more, but he is not. And Closer, maybe he's in real danger this time. Does have to use the ulti.
It's a big cooldown gone, though. DN Freaks. Yeah, you gotta look at Arakan.
Straight onto it.
Against the Nocturne, though. This is pretty scary.
Yeah, this is danger. Follow in the area, quickness in hand, Life just flashing on over. The Magna Storm catches him as he flashes away. Has the quickness there as well, moves pretty fast. As now, there could be a little bit of danger for good old Dudu. Hype coming on over. They will be able to get a kill for the Zeri, but they will lose the Arakan for it. And if you thought that Pungyan had a experience advantage before, he has more of one now. With this lead that Dudu managed to get in the early stages, he was 3-1-3. I was like, wow, there is no way they're going to be able to do anything about this. But, and Polo is going to die. Now, if Polo just dies randomly for no reason, then Barons can go over for free. And then the Bros don't really have too much of an answer.
I just have no idea what he was doing there.
Yeah.
Or how, like, as a Rakan of all champions, is just dying solo to a Wukong.
Well, Dudu is going to just supervise this Baron. That means that Doiv, Nimble Strike to get himself out of the way. Is Life going to get slowed down? Polo making his way in, crash down. Not quite working as there is the Paranoia going to be used just to save the top laner of Bro. Guarantee that this does go down. Doiv possibly getting into position here as the Cyclone not going to find the knock-up, and the Strike Breaker going to slow him up enough for Closer to get out of there. He did have to use...
represents
a lot of running fast.
A lot of movement speed. Yeah. Like, you can look at Berserker, with no other boost, no Ghost, no W, anything, was 451 movement speed.
There. And another inner turret will hit the deck here. DN Freaks very comfortably able to push this lead ever further to the last few seconds of Baron. My goodness, okay.
It gets used right at the end.
Well, now Crocker's going to get engaged on as well as Pungyeon looking for it, but he's in a little bit too early. There's the Paranoia, and now Hype doing a lot of work. Doiv not finding the value with the Cyclone, and Berserker does manage to take down the Rakan. Hype still doing some work, but Berserker is so huge in this fight. Morgan, 1 versus 3, and I don't think he really likes those odds. He's surviving for quite some time, but the Maiden's getting confused, and the DN Freaks, yeah, that's a good point. You're going to have to pay a lot.
Yes, you are, D1. You have to pay your bro tax.
I'm hoping that Whale comes back as well, because they're going to need all the help they can get if they want to win this one. As 9,000 was the lead in the end. The DN...
네, 미드 나온다. 천천히 가볼게. 먹었어. 미드 이거 쌈바도 좋아. 세게. 보자. 자, 녹턴 잡는다. 자, 녹턴 잡은 거. 녹턴 때리면 괜찮아. 녹턴 잡았어. 녹턴 잡았어. 천천히. 얘 봐줄게. 오라버릴게. 이거 우리 오라버려. 연이 높여. 나 더블 4초. 미드라인 살리면 끝내면. 끝내자. 형, 때려줘. 자, 1초. 이거 민찬이 형 때려줘. 나 이거 만화를 잡아. 야, 미드라인 써 끝내자 그냥. 끝날 듯.
You're getting a little bit crazy here.
Okay, yeah, that's a bit, maybe a bridge too far.
Yeah.
You probably would have had a lot of losing lanes in that instance. As Closer did actually do a great job on this Aurora, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough. It's that big 17.6k for...
If he's sometimes a little bit close, it can be hard to stop it. And then Aatrox coming into the Renekton. I was thinking maybe they'd lean on something like the Jax, honestly. But they end up going for that. And it's generally favored towards Renekton. We've seen that happen. And now looking at the Ezreal, honestly, I think DN Freaks are feeling pretty good. You know, you have the Hui who can outrange the Victor a little bit. Alistar's a great pick. There's not that many great options, so people are going to get stuck in the bullet time. I think top matchup's good. I think they've navigated the draft pretty well.
I would agree.
Together. The Ezreal as well, normally something we see banned away at this point, and Berserker Paladin it. Like, they have a great AD carry, they have a great support. I think the Renekton Lilia is a pretty strong combo in the early skirmishes. The Renekton's got a good lane matchup. The Hui's not going to have too much pressure early, but he's fine skilling up against the Victor.
Warp team fights with that ultimate. It could be a big deal.
Absolutely could. We'll see if they're able to find that pressure.
Yeah, as we hop up the rim. Was a tough one to make work. This time, Bros, they also have a team fight comp.
So they passive damage skills at level. Wow.
That was under the turret.
Yeah.
To be taken down here towards this top side is okay. There's a good headbutt underneath the turret, but heroic charge from Polo will answer it beautifully. Berserker winning the health trade alongside Hype, but that was a great reaction.
Flash. So you're burning more summoners.
Now, Pungyeon gonna get pushed back into the gravity field. That's kind of cool. Steadfast Presence will deny life.
This should be Doiv picking up the grubs in trade for this, even if it's not immediate.
Yep.
The fact that you have your bot laner here in motion. I think if he'd held it, he could have forced the flash from Polu, and then it would have been a trade. I think that would have been the optimal play, but not want to take any risks, which I think is fair enough, and we'll get out of there. However, we do see, as a result of that bot side lean to pick up the dragon, it is going to be 3 grubs for the DN Freaks in return.
Yep. Berserker able to walk down as well, getting that lane shoved in. A lot of topside control. Actually doesn't go for the minion. As Pungyeon, this time, he is likely to die as Gravity Field goes down and he is burning. Doiv doing a lot of damage here though, as you can see. And the Spiraling Despair actually coming on through there as Doiv unable to find Closer, but the Ignite comes down from life. He gets the shield, but it's not enough to keep him alive. Now Doiv's the one that's in trouble. He's spinning around a lot as Croco is able to take it with the bleed. I think it's very wholesome.
It's very cute.
I like it a lot. Sometimes you do need a hug. As Pungyan, he's going to get a hug from a doggo, and often that is really therapeutic. This time, Croco. Oh no, he spots him going over. And so now it's going to be a 2v2 underneath the turret here of the bros. Morgan wants to find it as the World Ender comes down. The Ruthless Predator is in. The sleep doesn't do enough. And now Doiv is in trouble. Croco dives over, trying to get the bleed onto Dudu as the bowling ball not really going to find the value. And the health bars are a little sub-humbuck in just yet. But it's early days. 12 minutes in this game. We're looking to grab some more grubs. That will even things out if they're able to get all of them. The DN Freaks are able to grab the first round. We'll also give Bro another step forward in the objective feat of strength. On over, watch out, eat Mr. Dragon.
Honestly, it's kind of surprising like how much poke damage in a Fairy has when you think of her as like, you know, like a dive assassin focused champion. But if she just launches the Q at you, it does so much damage. As concerned as you might be with other souls.
Croco is going to get engaged on here. Headbutt Pulp comes through from life, but he's taking a lot of damage. Does have the unbreakable will. Untargetable is Croco, and now out of the fight. Doiv also going very, very low as Hype's at full health, but they take down the Poppy to start this one off. Phenomenal headbutt, but where is the answer? As Hype goes in and nothing really happens. They take out the Lilia, and out goes Berserker with the Blast Cone. Dudu in the meantime is here on the bottom side of the map. And so he is going to be able to answer this somewhat, but DN Freaks fighting with a man disadvantage and they lose out.
I'm just not sure on the decision not to TP Dudu in. Like maybe they felt that they didn't have a good ward for him to get to, but then why opt into that fight?
Maybe Dudu just said no thanks. But maybe he should have said, yes, I will. As Berserker is in trouble, he's going to get flashed on by Hype. Hype really wanted to get that kill, but Croco says, nah, mate, you're not getting it. That's my 5th, my friend.
Like that is one of the pivotal points of this game, I feel, so far has been that fight, and now he might also... No,
so that's where he's going to be, Polu.
I mean,
here.
Bro have no right to contest this because of the fact that Close is bot.
Guess
I was going to say he doesn't have TP, but he's actually running up very fast.
Yeah.
And Dudu is not TPing.
Yeah, Doiv is just spinning around. Watch out, Ape does absolutely nothing as the Infernal Chains are in. Doiv is just melting, and he will go down. As Croco gets over there and takes him out. There is the evicted Crocodile as well, as now Life is just by himself. Berserker's on the gravity well, and he will be taken out as well. And it's a double for Hype. Morgan's over the wall, wanting to get some revenge on this Crocodile, who will get pulled back and just obliterated. Pungyan just has to watch. The fact that Chemtech Soul is actually kind of ludicrous for Bro. They've got Poppy, they've got Aatrox, who absolutely loves it. They got a BF sword on Hype already.
Don't do it, Doiv.
Croco is a 7-0-1 doggo, and so they don't die to him. So that's good news. Morgan going to take this outer turret on the top side of the map, though, as the Rift Herald was still alive. Okay. Well, that is going to be attempted once more, and the DN Freaks, I like the idea of not contesting.
Yeah.
Because they just don't have a lot of money. Doiv going to go for it. Potential angle. Can just walk underneath the turret, throw down a gravity field, and even put out Pungyan as he kills the turret.
Max, I'm seeing on the way pings on Atakan.
Oh no, oh no,
DNF.
oh no,
No,
no, not like this, not like this, not like this. Okay, I feel like Switch, you know, when
they're TPing, they're committing.
Cypher's near APOC, you know, it's not like this, DNF. Croco goes untargetable, guys. He does that a lot. As now Life moving forward, looking for the pulverized angle, and Morgan is moving in. The flash forward from Close, I don't know about that one. It's a double pole from Life, but he's down so low already. And Bro just kind of untouched. Hype wanders past the Atakan and presses his R button. Doiv in so much trouble, a huge explosion as they take down the Poppy. But who cares? Croco is massive. He flips over the wall and Morgan is flying towards Pungyan. A triple kill. That's a 10-0-1 Nefiri for Croco. And he's looking to make that one 11 as Pungyan looking to go down for the 11th kill. Yep, the doggo keeping it binary here on the Rift.
I just don't know what compelled them. It's like something affected DN Freaks and like, you know what? It's time just to send Atakan and
We're going to need so much to destroy in the enemy team's base. Doiv going to come on over. We'll be able to at least get some of the chickens.
Well, I do have some good news for you. But they're killing Polu, so
yeah,
I'll leave.
Polu may be dead. Does get interrupted. My God, the Arcane Storm damage is disgusting. Life is not long for this world. It's a double for him off the back end as Morgan starting to become an absolute menace on the Rift. And Dudu is going to find himself the last man standing. Croco gets, I think he's 12th or 13th or something like that. Maybe he's going to grab 14. That's a bullet time to the back of the...
Also be very funny.
Is it DK or KT?
It's KT.
Oh, God.
So the 0-10 primed KT takedown is a potential future.
Honestly, that one's winnable. That is definitely winnable.
And also, it would be very funny.
What is happening? Having a look at what... oh, they got the Otacon! They did it! It was their dream, and it has been achieved! As Life is going to see what he can do about getting them off the Nexus. The Otacon for Nexus trade is not what I was expecting, as the shortest keeper's verdict is going to push them away, destroy them. We are now going to get an idea as to what was happening at the end of this game, where they were on the Otacon, and Bro wandered into the enemy base, and then killed it.
Yeah, sometimes we talk about backdoors. This is the front door.
Yeah. And this was, like, the door wasn't even locked.
Yeah, it wasn't even closed. It was open. They just wandered in.
They had a welcome sign, and I think that there was hot cocoa on the table when they walked inside.
Yeah. And then you get the sleeping champions you used to see.
And the world's shortest keeper's verdict as well, as they just go into the fountain, and that is it. Closer with 10k more damage than his opposition. His Victor looking great, but the main story was, of course, Croco on the Nefiri looking absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, really solid performance. Closer, I think over the course of this series did a pretty insane amount of damage.
Oh, yeah.
But pumping the numbers there. But yeah, I think, you know, once again, a 2-1 to Bro. Same score they had last time. Not the cleanest. Definitely some things they want to work on, but ultimately, a win is a win.
Yep.
Very much, guys. This is Dear for the POM interview translation. We're here with Croco on the side of OK Savings Bank, Brian. Congratulations! Thank you. Croco, it's been a while since we saw you on the interview stage. What a great start to round 2. You just defeated DN Freaks. How do you feel? You know, during the practice and preparation process? I just tried to take it easy. But the team that we were against today was definitely a team with a high potential, so I think we had a pretty rocky start. And today was your LCK comeback match, and I'm sure there was excitement and pressure, so what mindset did you come in with today? What it feels like is, you know, it's been 500 days, but it was actually 671 days, so when I left to go to China, I said I will make my comeback to Korea one day, and I'm just really happy that I'm able to come back and get a POM today as well. And in game 1, we saw Hype get his pentakill, and he was so happy, saying, "Wow, that was so yummy." So please congratulate him. You know, Hype actually does watch a lot of VODs. And he was actually watching Deft get a pentakill, you know, one of the videos that he was watching on YouTube, and he said, "Oh my gosh, I really want to get pentakill as well." And it was really cool seeing him get a pentakill. So do you guys try to set it up for each other to get a pentakill? You know, during practice, we don't actually do that. We're not as wholesome as it sounds like, you know, what happened today. But I think today, it was just so much more meaningful for him to get a pentakill, so I think everyone was in it together. And let's talk about Game 3. You took Nefiri as the first pick, and it really showed your confidence. So was it something that you really wanted to play today? You know, rather than me trying to appeal to my team that I wanted to play, it was just really one of those limited options that we had. And I think recently we've been seeing a lot of good results out of Nefiri during practice, so I think that's why we didn't hesitate in picking her. And Nefiri, your KDA was 12-0-3. The most kills a jungler had this season. So are you satisfied with your gameplay? It's been such a long time since I came back to play on the LCK, and I was really nervous. But by game 3, I think I was very used to it. I adapted really well, and I think that's what really allowed me to get that many kills. And from round 2, you stepped in, and head coach Edgar actually claimed that you are a clear leader in game. And just like how you said, just listen to me, you guys, you showed up like the true big brother. So what kind of role do you want to take in the team?
예전부터 좀 우상이라고 생각했던 게 피넛 선수님이라고 생각해가지고
I have always looked up to Peanut, and he was my role model, and I think he's the clear leader of the team. And I really want to follow his footsteps and really just be someone that resembles him. And in the 2022 season, a lot of the fans are really looking forward to seeing the Coco and Closer synergy. So how was it playing with him? Even from the practice process, it just felt so comfortable playing with him. I think we just played like how we always used to. And you get to open round 2 with a victory. What are your goals moving forward? Starting from round 2, although it wouldn't be the same as how we were before, I hope that we slowly build up our synergy and chemistry to show you guys how good we were before. And it was a Lolly Night qualifier, and now that you won, we will have Morgan and Closer on Lolly Night. So what do you think will be the highlight? As everybody knows. Morgan, he's so talkative, he's going to talk a lot. And Closer, I know everyone adores Closer, so I'm sure everyone will enjoy watching Lolly Night with those two. And there are so many fans sending you all the energy. Would you like to send any messages? So our team had concluded round 1 with a 3-win and 6-loss, and we want to make sure that we get as many wins in round 2, and we will do our best. Thank you so much for all the support. And that's the end of the interview with Coco, and back to the space. Thank you.